Hey everyone, I just wanted to quickly share my thoughts on lockdown and everything that's going on with it at the moment. A couple of things that I learned in the army from doing tours and everything else. I found that being on tour is actually really close to being on lockdown. In a strange way, you're stuck in a small environment with a small group of people, and you spend most of the time sat around in your ass doing fuck all. Or not, or doing, actively doing stuff, but you're stuck in a small space. And there's quite a few bits that are similar. So I thought I'd share, again, me and the wife, we were both in the army on the same tours and everything else. And we found that there are some things from that have been working for us since we've been locked down. And I thought I'd just quickly share them with you. Feel free not to use them or anything else. This isn't advice. One of the things I've found during lockdowns, there's a load of people out there giving what they're making out to be definitive advice, and it's not. They don't know what they're talking about because they've never ever been in this situation before. They're just used to telling people what they should do because they're gurus and all that nonsense. So there's a couple of things. So one of the things that we found is that having a bit of fun all the time. We've got a competition with the card game that we play, and we keep score. At the moment I'm winning, I think I'm winning 17-12 last time I checked, and basically whoever gets to 20 gets us something. I won't tell you what that something is, but it's that sort of thing. That's keeping morale going. Morale is a big one. So when I was a commander in the army, everyone in my section used to carry a bag of Haribo in their webbing all the time, and usually when it was fucking miserable in Brecon, somewhere like that, but on tour as well, if things were down, it would be right, you Jimmy, whoever, get the Haribo out. If you can find something like that, cake, and I'm not saying stuff your face with cake all day, I'm not saying that at all. In fact, make it rarer and it has a bigger impact on morale. But take leadership of the situation when you're struggling with negative feelings and all that kind of stuff, and you can feel the house is starting to get tense or not. Break out the sweets, break something out, or it doesn't have to be sweets, it can be anything, but break something out that will make everyone a bit happier together, and it has a big impact. Keeping yourself busy. Now, I know some people's businesses have suffered, some people's haven't, and they're flat out, some people are looking after kids and everything else, but a big part of it's psychology as well. If you can plough yourself into a project, that helps. Okay, when on two of my tours, I collected badges. It doesn't have to be productive. Everyone, and like one of my biggest gripes, and some of you who are close to me have heard me fucking whinge about this, is the people who are saying, you have to come out of this, you should come out of this with a new qualification, new skill, new all this, that and the other. Some people aren't in that position with everything going on at home. If you can, great. If you can make it something constructive, great, but it might not be. If you can plough yourself into a project that's nonsense, it'll keep you going. And that's what it's about. The biggest difference with this is it's about survival. The project I had when I was in the army, it was so from first tour of Helmand and second tour of rank, I collected badges. Genuinely, I collected badges, and that became the thing. And it's on it's bollocks. They're all on they're sewn to a towel at the moment that's sat in a bottom drawer somewhere in my spare room. And I ended up with an Iraqi army general's rank slide and stuff like that. It was just something to keep me occupied. Keep yourself occupied with a project, and it doesn't have to be as constructive as everyone's making it out. This is about this, again, keeping you going. One of the things that people are struggling with is trying to grow themselves and do all this stuff. At the moment, focus on survival. Now, I'm not saying go into a survival mindset, because you make crap decisions when you're in a survival mindset, but make your planned outcome survival. People are so busy trying to change this, that, and the other. Actually, if you focus on, right, how am I going to get through the next 3 months? So in 3 months' time, so you're talking mid-July. How am I going to get to mid-July? That's all you have to focus on. Now, and then you plan back on all the different bits and pieces. If you do these massive pivots that everyone's talking about and everything else, it's not going to go well. And a lot of people are reacting at the moment. And we all know that you can't start a business in the space of a week, not a decent business that's going to run and everything else. You might be able to do something that survives. You can be proactive in things. You can come up with a couple of actions that might really make a difference. But if you try to invent a new business in the space of a week, it's not going to work. So use the time, take a step back. And it's a big one, again, going into the military, when you're going through a section attack. When you go through attack, you return fire to the enemy, and then you suppress the enemy, so the section's putting fire down, and then all of a sudden, as the commander, you step back, and it's a physical step back. You do physically remove yourself backwards and have a look and work out what you're going to do. And that's probably why I've been quite quiet on it, because that's exactly what I've done. I've stopped and withdrawn, and I've been observing, and a lot of people are reacting really, really quickly. And if it works for them, that's great. Some people are going to go left and it'll work for them, and some people are going to go right and it's not. But if you can take the time to make a considered action, that's going to make the massive difference. Now, I'm not talking about particularly about business, just in general. If things are going to change, if you can make that a considered action instead of a rush, then you'll do much better. Anyway, so that's the kind of stuff that we're doing at home that's helping, and that's been a big difference for us. Again, if you can get yourself, the big difference to us is getting yourself into a project, and that project can be watching fucking Breaking Bad or something like that if you've not seen it before. I've been watching Formula 1 Drive to Survive. I've been working on some courses, and I've also been building dens with my little boy. That building dens one, that's been huge. Every time we go out, we're building a den. That's the project. Yeah, it's going to fall over probably in about a week's time because it's not that well made, and it's in the middle of a field. So it's just something like that. Find something, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. So anyway, that's just my thoughts, and I hope that's been helpful.